going. Good, good. Let's go ahead and Scarfify. Send out some pings. Okay. So, give people a second to filter in here, but we are going to be reviewing Twizzy, our Ana player, through some Lijiang Tower, which is generally a favorite, or at least it's a favorite in the scrim scene, and everyone always wants to play it. It's not quite King's Row, but it's pretty close to King's Row, which is fine. It actually is a fun map. I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it a little more than King's Row. I know that's blasphemy. So, here we go.
Fruition comes from within, as does failure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's see how things are going today.
Capture the objective.
So we're walking out with our Ana. We have a Roadhog. We're obviously current patch, which means that's a little more disappointing, but they have a Roadhog too. Okay. Just gonna give our Ana a little bit more valuable. Hey, Game Buster. I don't necessarily remember. Let me see if I can remember from my history what this is. We may have to figure it out as we go along. I don't remember this. This person, let's see, a year ago, 2 years ago, was silver, but I'm pretty sure they've climbed since then. I suspect we're in gold, maybe plat range, but we'll find out. We'll find out as we go. Okay, so here we are. We're rolling out. Guess the SR can. Hey, guess the SR can work. It's more than I wanted to rewind because we aren't yet set. Good. Okay, so we're walking out here. We get stuck on the ledge there, which is a little bit disappointing. We've got an Echo. So we see this. We recognize a Pharah. Great. Perfect. Offensive shots to open it up. We'd like to hit our Pharah, but hey, we get that. We get a little damage in there at least. Great. You're done. You're not going to go for the reload opportunity you had there, and I'm a little bit surprised. I'm going to be honest, this happens. Hey, we're missing shots on the fair, doesn't bother me. But this, everyone is in pretty good shape. Sure, you can heal this hog more if you want to.
I see you.
But there's nothing to shoot at. I kind of do expect the reload to come in here. I kind of honestly expected the reload to come in at 5 ammo. I'm not terribly bothered that it didn't, and you gave that extra 70, 80 health to Roadhog. But we're now at a place where, you know, if you were reloading at 11 out of 15 ammo, I'd just be annoyed when the fight got quiet for half a second. But if you're reloading at 2 out of 15 ammo, well, yeah, I know this fight is going to heat up, and this fight is honestly pretty calm, pretty controllable right now, and I want you to have power later in the fight. No, Ana will hit a flying target in silver or below. This is already gold. Okay. I mean, not only that, but he instantly looked for the flying target there as opposed to healing. Okay. That's fine. It's a fishing nade, but that's fine. You're not going to need your nade for anything. Okay, so it's time to start thinking about how we can open this up, because our team is just stacked in this single direction, and while yes, you probably would prefer your Zen go off on adventures and you heal hog, you do get to the point of you should not, as an Overwatch player, allow this situation to stand, where your whole team is basically, you can draw a straight line through them to the enemy front line. So you need to be thinking, if other people aren't going to rotate, I'm going to rotate. And honestly, even if someone like Soldier does rotate, I'm still going to rotate. And what do you know? Now I'm here. And by being here, I can still take my offensive shots. I can drop a fat nade. I can potentially weave in a sleep. And now they have to respond to me being here, either by walking over here or by getting cover against me, which lets my team in. And, like, you aren't super worried about, oh no, but then I can't heal Roadhog. Well, A, Roadhog can heal himself. B, you've still got Zen with the team. Is that ideal assignment of responsibilities? No, but it's more important that someone does this. You're someone. You should go do this. Please don't just get held here for like 15 seconds. Oh! That nade was not great.
That's better.
Okay, Fine. Hog versus hog, yeah.
Thank you.
The fishing nade earlier was good. The last nade we saw was not so good. That nade was great. And you notice what made this nade easier? Why this nade became like an opportunity for such a nade? Is that the fight is happening in this direction because your Roadhog has rounded the corner. These guys are trying to use the cover against your team, so you're able to hit them at like a 90-degree angle. Nades, you're gonna find big nade impacts at like 90-degree angles. Hint, hint. Hence my, oh, just rotate over here and look for this sort of thing while still being pretty darn safe.
Healing fortified.
Go there. Oh, perfect. Good. Okay.
You're powered up. Get in there.
That's fine. This fight is close enough. This is a good place to be, and you're about to... You don't need the nade. Fine. Go for it anyway, but it doesn't hurt. Oh, I mixed up my calls. You definitely need the nade. So here we are. Go for your nano.
Don't fret. I see you.
We want our nade desperately. We do. And you find it. Except you missed. Yeah, that's fine. You missed your nade, you missed your sleep, but hey. Conceptually, that fight was appropriate enough. Was the positioning okay? This positioning was fine. So we look at this, and we were playing over here with cover against the enemy team, with the ability to close the angle. We're in a matchup where we have to be somewhat conscious of the Lucio being able to come over and just knock us off, but we can see the Lucio, so that's not about to happen to us. So this is totally fine. I can take cover against the enemy team. I can kite out of the fight if I have to. I can rotate deeper over to here. This is a totally reasonable place to be right now. And you've got that nice 90-degree angle on the enemy team. You can't fully heal your Roadhog, but you just gave him a nano, so what do you care? Offensive shots, offensive nades, those are sort of what we're thinking about right now. So this is fine. Tapped the Reaper. If the Reaper was normal, he'd Wraith here. That Reaper lived is just disappointing, but wasn't really on you. It is on you that you don't hit anyone with your nade here, and you don't hit your sleep. I mean, this fight could have gone either way. If you hit that sleep on the Reaper, you're still alive, and suddenly this looks a bit more, hey, this could still go either way. Your Hog is still tearing up their back line. Hey, Twizzy. Sounds good. Sounds good. She had no reason to get away from the bridge. Correct. The bridge gave her a reasonable cover, gave her a reasonable distance, gave her a sweet angle, and the threat that the bridge usually imposes from Lucio and Pharah was temporarily not a threat. You needed to worry about the Pharah coming back, as the Pharah did come back, but she wasn't actually in that much danger there. Plat 5, you call Plat 5? Okay. Well, Twizzy was just here and could have told us.
I've got meds. Who needs them?
Yeah, go for it. Well, I mean, I don't care. You should ask. What do you guys Game Buster and it's Plat 4? Oh, good guess. Good guess.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Okay.
Helping you out.
Okay. So we're going for the Flyers, which I'm happy about. 90% sure it's Plat 4. Cool. Great. We took out the Pharah. Lost our Roadhog in the meantime. We'll deal.
Helping you out.
And that nade, I assume, was meant to go deeper for the enemy team, and you just kind of got a little surprised by the fact that there's a elevation increase on that bridge there, I'm guessing. I hope that wasn't meant for your teammates. I'm good with this rotation, and now instantly look left. You've been looking away. You're going to want to rotate like this. Rotating like this is nice. Obviously, our Hog being dead isn't great, but you do want to, the instant you've completed the rotation, you want to be like, as you're rotating, already looking to flick your camera back here so that you can effectively catch up on anyone that fell behind or get that quick opening. You want to have your... Okay. You don't need to open it this wide. This is actually pretty deep on your rotation, given that this flank has totally melted. This rotation would be fine if your team was playing here or here. You're pretty deep on this, though, I got to admit. I would prefer you to be more shallow, like over here at this point, just because if we sort of look from a bird's eye view here, You see how much you're in. Now, the enemies don't have anyone over here or anything, but you don't really know that. You're only really aware of these three. So I would be worried about now it's really easy to pinch you. Whereas if you're back here and they send someone through, no big deal. Or if your team is up here and they push someone through, it's not as big a deal if you're here. This is better, by the way. You have to stay here to keep your angle bigger. But then if you get pushed back by someone, not as big a deal. You being up here right now, when the opponents are this far forward and your next teammate for your angle is all the way back here, you see how, like, if we think of this as your back line, we're going to do some triangle work here. This would be great. This would be totally great if you actually had someone here or even here. Those would be triangles that I would be happy with. But this is something where we're in a situation where you've just sort of stuck yourself out there when your next closest teammate is back here. And I know you had a Zen here and they just died, but that Zen dying actually changes the flow of the battle in your head, and you kite back a little bit so you're less likely to get staggered. Partially because, you know, it's easier for them to stagger you now that they've dealt with the Zen. You're more vulnerable because they don't have to look in multiple directions anymore. But also, how do I want to put this? You're much less likely to actually get an elimination now that your Zen is dead, now that this side has collapsed, because you're not really expecting to triple tap people to kill them as Anna, and if you do, it's because they're looking at someone else. You're expecting to tap them once, or double tap them, or hit them with a nade, or hit them with a sleep that causes that to combine with someone else's damage to kill them. If you don't have that damage coming from over here, it's a lot less likely. You see how that works? Ninja sometimes for allies, but I try to keep them at least 9 out of 10 for enemies. Good, good. Sometimes you are going to have to get your ally. You might have to get enemies like 8 out of 10 rather than 9 out of 10 times. But that's good. That's the right way to think about your nades. That's the right way to think about kind of the real value part of your kit. Okay, there we go. Okay, good luck with your game, Game Buster. Okay, you do retreat back a little bit. Good.
Covering you.
Fine. This is okay. You can play back here in the pocket. Right idea. Poor Hog. Hooks in a soldier and is like a third of his health.
Taking the objective. Get over here.
I won't let you fall.
Okay. Walk! Walk! You have a Transcendence. Now we can start to fade out. Right idea. Yep. This is fine. Look for your offensive shot. You can stay tighter on the cover. Good. Okay. Okay, you need to get in here with your sleep, and you know it. Never. Okay. We can micro our way back through this fight, I suppose. So here you are. You come in. Solid. You should walk in harder here. You have a Transcendence going. There's no reason you can't literally just stick the weapon in Moira's face and eliminate her right here. There's no reason. They then combine these. You were absolutely right to combine your abilities to try to take her down. Only got value out of 1, so be it. This is great, and you immediately go for the offensive shot. Immediately. I don't like that you range quite so far from your cover, because if this soldier does turn and just shoot at you, he can just out-muscle you down, and there's literally no reason you can't have just stayed right here. Right here, you still had these same shots on Soldier. Right here, you still have, like, the entire half of the point that you can see. But if someone shows up coming from respawns, you can very quickly take cover here. If Soldier turns and shoots at you, you can take cover here. Soldier turning and shooting at you is great, because then your Hog gets to use, you know, more of his ult, etc. Like, there's no reason to drift as far as you are from cover.
Damn it.
Or if Adam was here, where's your cover? Where's your cover? it. You want to look for damage on squishies or healing right now, and this is it. Fine.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's see how good a job you do of sticking to your cover when it's available. Like, you know, sticking close to it when you're using it. Totally fine to rotate to other places. In fact, the other thing I'm interested in right now is your rotations. Your sort of instinct to aggressively look for shots is good. You can rotate. I don't want this fight staying still. This is an eternity that this fight is just sort of staying as it is. And it's an eternity that this fight is just staying as it is while you have both cooldowns available. If you don't have your cooldowns available, a fight sort of staying stable is shrug. It's just time passing for you to get your cooldowns back, for you to be a difference maker. You can live with that. But this is the fight just staying in a steady state while you have both of your cooldowns available, which means other people on the field are getting stronger because their cooldowns are rolling back where yours are not. So let's change this. And how do we change this? Well, I have both cooldowns, so I'm not actually all that afraid to walk up here. I'm probably not going to go do this rotation because it's going to take me out of line of sight for my team too long, and they do need more pressure pumped into them, more healing pumped into them. But I'm pretty okay to walk up to here and see what I can find. I can then close the angle if need be. If the angle's not dangerous, I can walk my way over here, continue working on my team, and now I have options. Now I can go, oh, hey, let me get a cute nade in there, then duck back here and continue healing. Oh, you're pushing my team? No problem. I can fall back to here. Oh, my team is pushing you back? No problem. I can work my way over to here and still heal my team while having cute angles to punish your team. Now, I need to be aware of when or did we get any eliminations, because if we did, I have to worry about respawns over there. But I'm thinking about taking more map control even as a support here, especially while I have offensive cooldowns available. You are a powerful Ana right now. Your positioning will get less aggressive when you have one or neither of these, but when you have both of these, you should be thinking about taking better map control, getting more aggressive positioning. Especially if you have another healer, another support that can actually put out a reasonable amount of healing, or a tank that is pretty self-sustaining.
This will cut the pace.
So, like, you trying to hold that battle steady for so longer is what ultimately forced you to have to use a defensive / healing nade there.
Stand up straight.
Now it's going to be harder to take space because your hog is dead. Like, spending your hog's health, spending your hog's defensive cooldown in the breather is sort of what gives you the most freedom to rotate. 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 I'm glad that we're playing a little closer. Okay, fine.
All systems on optimal level.
Okay, so recognize where your team's going to position, and now position based on it. So if we do our bird's eye view again, it took really long, but you're sort of in the triangle spot that you'd want to be. If it looks like your Junkrat is going to go over here, your hog is over here, so you being here in the triangle sort of works, right? Well, not really. You just can't quite do enough from here with how this thing gets in the way, with how this thing gets in the way. You can't do enough to the enemy team. So you're going to have to pick one of them, and you're going to decide. You generally default to supporting your Roadhog and playing back here. But Kiriko's already taken that position. So since Kiriko has already taken that position, we can instead play a little bit more aggressive and go, hey, I'll support my Junkrat on this angle, and I'll go over here, and maybe I'll lurk for a nade, and as they push my team, I'll nade, or maybe I'll take a quick double tap or sleep, whatever, and then I can still very easily and very quickly fall back and really not be in that much danger. And if they push me, well, my hog's already right here sort of thing. I'd have preferred the instant this fight ends, so like, this is happening. My preference would have been that right here, you're already thinking about where do I go. Well, we can cap the point, but where's my hog going? My hog's going there, okay, I can see where my hog is going. I'm going to go, I know that my hog is going to hold here-ish, or maybe here-ish, so I'm already beelining to here. I would like to already be taking my map control or taking my positioning that I want. Instead, you're just sort of thinking, going, what's going on, what's going on? And Kirka might have respected your priority on this spot and have gone with Junkrat, which her and Junkrat over here would have been even better, and done that. But you waited too long, and she didn't. And if she didn't, if you went and then saw she was going there, fine, you swap and you go with Junkrat. Please go with Junkrat. Good, good. Less good. That's just a hope and a prayer and not real. And now you don't have your nade. And I'd sure like my nade right now. You do need to dump asleep and then probably get out. Okay, you have your nade back. Fine, good, you're okay. Okay, totally fine. Totally fine to use that nano there. It protected your whole hog. Your whole hog was weak and you could have lost it. You were only up 1 in the fight. If they killed your hog, that would have been a real loss. You'd have lost the hog in the ult, obviously. Nano makes sense, not a big deal. But you see what's happening here? You could be positioning here, but you're stacked on your Kiriko. You do not want to allow these things to happen. Now, your Junkrat has a bit of an off angle that I appreciate. I would prefer that your Kiriko either join your Junkrat or your Kiriko get a little bit more aggressive, like say over here, say over here, whatever, and then can teleport back. But if she's not going to, you have to start thinking about, can I work open a bigger angle? If I work open a bigger angle, can I threaten these guys? If I go here, can I threaten these guys? Oh, that's at least a little bit more angle for my team. Yeah, it's really the same as Echo, but it's at least a little bit more angle for your team, which will make dropping your nades in easier, hitting your offensive shots easier. You're fishing too hard with that.
I'm grateful. I've got you.
I don't mind fishing with your nade when the opponents are far away and it might combine with some poke damage to kill them. I don't mind that, but your opponents are very close. Here, I'll go back to when you use it. This nade is like a 50-50 nade at best, and the opponents, if they want, can start this fight in 2 to 3 seconds. That doesn't work. If you were throwing a 50-50 nade and it was going to take the opponents 5, 6, 7 seconds to start the fight, no problem. But here, they can start the fight in 2 seconds, and then, you know, you don't have your nade, and you didn't even have that great a chance of hitting your nade, and your nade didn't have that good a chance of combining for for an elimination. No.
I'm grateful. I've got you.
Heal Hog or shoot Reaper. Fine, Sleeping Hog, good. Okay. Good nade. There we go. This fight is still very winnable. Get here, get here. Good.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Did not need to use that nade there. I know what you want, but it's just silly. Okay. Recognize that Kiriko's not here, that this is the route she'd have come back on. Try to tuck a little more to the right. Tuck further right. I know it's not great because you'd like to be able to kite to point better, but if Kiriko's going to stay main like this, you need to kite right. And exactly, and you see what that would have done? If you'd been over here, they wouldn't have an angle on you. And you'd be in a place where you have potentially the crossfire that you're working with, you have potentially the crossfire that you're working with, but you can quickly get back here. Oh, but they could walk through on me like this. No big deal. If they walk through on you like this, you just kite back like this, and then if they come out here, well now they have your team has a huge cross angle on them, sort of thing. It really does help. Repeat, you don't need that mega. This is not Overwatch 1. This is fine. You're doing some work, you pull some attention to yourself, you close the angle, and you can go right back out. You still have 187 health. You are perfectly fine. Repeat that angle. Look for the opportunity to hit the nade, whatever it is, to double tap a squishy, something. Don't just go out here.
Let the kills up.
Free Junkrat! Free Junkrat! Oh no. No!
You're powered up. Get in
Okay.
there.
I wouldn't even go for a sleep in that. That is such a crazy sleep to try to hit. Like, the opponents are being whole hogged back. Just don't. If they were already up against the wall, even if they were, like, it's a minor stun, you're not interrupting something, just try to shoot at them. Don't waste your longer cooldown. Oh no. And now you're gonna flinch and die. Yeah. You got in your own head there, I can tell. So don't waste the sleep, no big deal. Don't worry about missing these shots, it's not a huge deal. You're so far ahead in this fight that you just feel like, oh, I should just clean this up, etc. And then when he starts to make up for you being so far ahead, and you miss 2 shots, like, this nade was you trying to not have to rely on your aim, and, you just messed up, we'll just say here. Not a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. Not a big deal. That's just you getting in your own head. You guys get the cap, we're fine.
Ready for battle. 2, 1.
Okay, little control center.
Capture the objective.
Forget what happened in the past. We just have to win here.
Didn't we just win the last round? Like, why would we forget about the past, Anna?
I won't let you fall.
Sure, you're gonna have to get a nade through there. No? Okay.
No recovering.
Okay.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Shots on Orisa aren't very valuable. Shots to heal Hog are fine. Shots to hurt their squishies are fine. Shots on Orisa are kind of meh. That's better. Yep.
I'm in.
That's fine. Obviously, the Orisa was fortified, but it got your Hog too. So it works out. Don't spend sleep darts on Orisa. As I was just saying, it was fine that you purpled the Orisa with Fortify because you also got your Hog, so you get, instead of double value out of it, full value plus a little more. You get your Hog plus you sort of inconvenience the Orisa. Sleeping the Orisa, no, she's got too many cooldowns. You might be going, oh no, but she doesn't have stuff anymore. Just don't even be in the habit of sleeping Orisa. Like, there's not enough that you can interrupt of her with your sleep. Your sleep, she has so many ways to stop your sleep. She's got Fortify, she's got Javelin Spin, she's got a second Fortify from her ult. She does a good job of rotating those cooldowns. Obviously, there's not full uptime. She's just not a terribly good target for your sleep Susanna. She's not a terribly good target for your nades either, but sometimes you're going to hit her with nades when you're hitting other people like your Roadhog, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's a 14 seconds that we've got to wait for a sleep that, wasn't likely to work. Yes, I know in that case it would have worked if you hit her because she didn't have the abilities, but just don't do it.
I've got you.
There's the spin. Rotate right, rotate up 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 right, rotate through white room.
Take this.
You are feeling like desperate, like you need to throw that nade to help your Hog because you didn't rotate up here while the fight was quiet to then have an angle to then be able to see your Hog that was pushing in. When you rotate up the sides, it can a lot of the time be easier to see your teammates that are going deeper as you're winning a fight. Okay, that nade is better because you're looking for Orisa plus BAP.
It's just a scratch.
So really you're looking for BAP plus maybe you get a little credit on Orisa. Would be the better way for me to phrase that. You can stay right. There's no reason for you to give up right side here because the opponents aren't threatening to you. If the opponents were close to you and you didn't have a teammate with you, yeah, you wouldn't want to stay here. But this happens. You push up. Junkrat's here with you.
It's just a
Junkrat's
scratch.
here
You'll
with
be
you.
fine.
You've pushed the opponents back a little. Hog is pushed forward. You are good here. In fact, you can continue to heal Echo as you rotate, but you're looking to play a little more here, maybe threaten, poke through there. Easy fallback. One from Gold 2 to Plat 4 on Diva. Nice! Make it that was your rank update that just happened from the last game? Very cool. Solid update.
This will cut the pain. My ultimate is almost ready. You're covered.
Less good nade. You know she's about to be out of both abilities, but she covered it with Fortify. That's what I'm talking about. Even when you think she's out of defensive ability, she's got a defensive ability.
You're powered up.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Good. Nano the whole hog. Make sure you cancel the Orisa and her ult with it. Fine. Now look for things to do. So you spend a little too long on Junkrat here. This is good. Fine, you're done. I know Junkrat isn't healed to full, but he is totally fine, and I need you to look somewhere else in the battle. Because I don't know, have we held up over here? Are we okay? What's going on? Oh, it even turns out Kiriko is finishing healing up this Junkrat here. I don't need you to harder pocket this Junkrat. He's fine. Look elsewhere to make sure you're not about to get hit in the side of the head by a Junkrat grenade, that your Roadhog isn't melting, etc.
Concentrating fire.
This one, healing up Echo there was fine. Now you're going a little long, but healing up Echo was fine because you had checked right. Okay.
For your wound.
This fishing nade is fine. And the reason this fishing nade is fine is these enemies cannot force this fight on you quickly. So that's why this one is okay, and the one I was talking about earlier was not.
Sow it for your wounds. I'm here. Keep fighting.
Okay. I can see how hard you're thinking about Junkrat. You've given up on that. Good. Sleeping Orisa is not the answer.
Double kill.
I'm glad that worked out. I'm not sure why Tracer didn't have recall there, but hey, I'm glad it worked out. They were playing a pretty conservative angle, so them not having recall was reasonable based on that positioning. I'm just surprised they didn't have it.
I'll keep you up.
Tuck left. Why are you bouncing back into the middle? You're fine.
I'll keep you up.
Your out is right here. Oh, what do you know? I have cover against the whole enemy team. I can heal my Roadhog. I can further kite back to here and have more cover. I can kite back to here. Don't be afraid to hold the wings, left or right, as long as you know your kite path and are recognizing sort of bird's eye view what your team's positioning looks like versus the opposing team's positioning. Don't be sitting up here if your Roadhog falls back to here, for example. But if your Roadhog is playing here, you're totally fine. Sitting here, whatever. If your Roadhog is playing here, or here, or here, you're totally fine playing here. You might even be fine if he's on that pillar, going over here and poking at the enemies a little bit. If the enemies get to like here, you go, yep, I don't like that, and you back off to here, sort of thing. And if they get to here, you continue to go, yeah, I'm not sure I like that. Maybe I back off further and play from here. Like, that's the game. You're jumping more than you need to be there. I give Anna's less crap for jumping because they have quick scope options with it, but I can also see your strafe pattern is pretty predictable. You like to change directions and basically force yourself to stop right as you take the shot. I can feel that it's part, like I can legit feel that it's part of your aim. I can feel it watching, and better opponents will take advantage of that, but there are exactly 0 opponents in Plat 4 that will take advantage of it, so.
Duplicating chaser.
Again, you're just sitting back here. If the fight's stable enough, you can think about rotating, but that's fine. You're going to get the win. Right here. Okay, so that's the win. That's cool. So what are we going to say coming out into or out of this match? What do you need to work on to be a better Anna? How do you keep moving up? Obviously, you know, not missing some of your clutch sleeps, like against a Blossoming Reaper, not being in situations where the BAP takes you down when he has a quarter health and you just need to hit him one more time and he takes you down from full health and you have your nade available. Obviously, you know, not just panicking and messing up in some of those situations. Sure, that's going to help you. But that'll come with time. That'll come with practice. You know, you have a little bit of panic shakiness, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. That will come as you continue to just get more comfortable at the level you're playing at. So, what can you work on that's a little, easier to focus on, a little more, hey, I'm going to work on this and this is going to be better? Well, that really is going to be making sure that you are rotating properly. Making sure that you are rotating properly based on what your team allows you to do. Space is a concept that everyone needs to think about. It might be like the building block of playing tank, totally, and it might be next most important for the DPS, but it's still very important for you as a support to understand how it works. Sometimes you can just sit in the back and, hey, alternate or, mix in offensive shots and heal your tank and whatever and just try to hold the fight steady. Sometimes that's something that you can do. But it really helps, if that's what you're trying to do, if your DPS are doing a really good job of taking angles or your other support is playing to work on those angles with DPS. Maybe as a Kiriko, maybe as a Mercy, maybe a Zen that gets particularly aggressive. Fine. Your Kiriko is not doing that. And even if your Kiriko is doing that, you still need to know how to do it, and you still need to recognize that it is something that is desirable that can wrench fights open. That is how you wrench fights open. You go, hey, my hog is here, I can be here as Anna and wrench this open. If my Junkrat is with me, I feel more secure here, and that's even better. If my Junkrat isn't with me, or even if they are, I need to be conscious of, did my hog's positioning collapse? I need to take a more shallow position. Are the enemies crumbling? I can deepen my position and rotate up to the next piece of cover. But having these off angles, even though it'll mean there's some shots on your team that you can't hit and it's not quite as easy to heal your team as it is from, say, back here, it'll allow you to follow your team in harder and do things like heal them when your team is trying to stagger the opponents, wipe the opponents, help you get more staggers, etc. It'll also, in general, let you have more offensive shots. And there are 2 supports on the board in games of Overwatch, so you not being able to see your whole team at all times isn't the end of the world. Overwatch is not a game of, I have to be able to heal everyone at all times, etc. Overwatch is a game of balancing pressures, and as long as you have something that is net good for your pressure, that works. Now, as a support, that can feel a little weird because, you can't net balance pressure or net increase your pressure if the only person on your screen is a Junkrat to heal that doesn't need healing. You're not changing the pressure going in or coming out of the fight if the only thing you have to do is heal someone who's already full health. You can adjust the pressure if you're healing a hog that's half health and constantly taking damage. Okay, that could work. But if you have the option to go, hey, I can change the pressure, I can put damage into an opponent, and I see you going for offensive shots. I see you looking for those fair shots. I like that. I see you looking past your hog, even down the middle for other people like their soldier, their reaper to shoot at. I like that you're going for those things, but we're going to open up more opportunities to hit those squishies and more opportunities to get better cooldown value and more opportunities to make sure your team gets those stagger kills, and more ability for your team to hold the more forward position that they've earned after wiping or pushing back the enemy team by having you rotate more aggressively onto the wings. Or even when you're falling back, you can fall back to the side rather than re-braving enemy sight lines and maybe getting hit by spam or maybe getting hit by shots that are meant for you. I don't want to do that. I want to go over here. As long as you understand you can take these spots, but also understand how to kite out and work on when it's time to kite out based on your team's positioning, your other teammates' positioning, and the enemy's positioning. That's what I want you to work on. That's how you're next going to get the most bang for your buck on your Ana here. Some of the other stuff that we could get to would be, hey, you could play a little bit tighter on cover. That would probably be the next thing I'd go for, just because it's an easier adjustment. That does not mean you have to have cover 100% all the time, because I'm telling you to rotate more, to walk to more aggressive positions more often, and you don't have cover while you're walking. But when you're at a new position, you have that cover, and you generally don't have to range very far from a cover to make your sight line pretty big or pretty small in terms of how open or close your angle is. And so you don't need to be like, yes, I'm healing my team from here, that's great, let me wander out here. Why? There's no need to wander out here. You're just making your escape that much harder. You can play from here, and you can see basically 99% of what you can see from here. Don't do that. Don't do that. From there, we would start to get into, if we were to move on to a third thing, we would work on calming you down in some of those fights. It really doesn't matter if an individual bat beats you when you should have beat them, some things like that. Once you sort of actually internalize that, they won't beat you. I know that's not really fair, but that is kind of how it works. As well as some of we could get into some, hey, there's some jankiness stuff that is happening where you really feel comfortable with changing direction and your strafing right as you finish your flick to hit someone, etc., almost as like a way to stabilize your aim of sorts. And it's fine to have that be a way to aim. I sometimes do that when I'm playing Ana, but you also need to be able to be holding left and, while walking left and scoped, hit your flick and still hit it, etc., and not have it totally tied to you changing directions, because it does make you predictable, because your weapon has a very specific fire cadence as Ana, a very specific speed at which you can fire it, and if you're tying your directional strafe changes to when that cadence happens, it lets people adjust to you and hit you because your strafing now is very predictable. It also messes with your aim a little bit. But that's fine. That's something you can work on. That is, well, that's very obvious to me. That is way down the list in terms of importance right now. So yeah, that's what I have for you. If you have any questions, you can absolutely let me know. I hope you enjoyed. If other people have questions, you can throw those up in chat now. I have a couple minutes I can use to answer questions here. I see some Game Buster stuff. We see some Twizzy stuff. Let's see if we have any more questions that will come in here. Where do we have this? Go. And then I don't actually know if we'll get to trail streaming tonight. We might do some trail streaming tonight. If not tonight, probably Wednesday. What do we got? Fine. Make sure that's set, and then we should be good to go. Okay, any questions? No questions. That's fine. So we will just go ahead and set you guys up with a raid so you can watch more Overwatch. Unless you want a Trails raid. But I kinda don't think you want a Trails raid. That's okay. Here we go. But very cool, Game Guster. Congrats again on your climb there. And we'll send you guys over to see how Moom is doing. He's probably got some interesting tank play for you. I actually think he's in queue right now. But hey, so be it. We'll go ahead and go like that.
I like that. That's a good one. Join you? Join you what? Mini Ninja's your favorite musician. Oh, hey Temporal. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a nice stream. Thank you. Hope your viewers like Q Simulator. You're Shimbali custom? Okay. I might have removed you. But my friends list got full. I'm a monster.